Okay, before starting with the new topic, let us remind some key concepts about the plant classification. Who can tell us what are some groups? Which are the groups that we do classify plants?
Teacher, can I? Teacher, can I?
Katie?
Teacher, can I?
Katie, do you remember?
This is classifying plants.
Uh-huh.
We have conifer trees,
Uh-huh.
flowering plants,
Yes.
ferns, and mosses.
Okay, very good. Which is the simplest and the earliest group or class of plants? From these ones that you said? Katie?
Teacher, can I?
Teacher, can I?
Yes,
Teacher.
Amy?
please.
Which is the simplest or the earliest group of plants that we did classify last time?
Teacher, can I answer?
Can I answer this?
Deborah?
Teacher, so mosses.
Uh-huh, very good. So mosses, you said that they are the earliest living plants. Deborah, can you mention some characteristics of mosses?
Yeah. So they live in shady places. They do not produce flowers.
Uh-huh, very good.
But instead they produce spores.
Uh-huh.
And they also have thin leaves.
Okay, very good.
Can I answer?
Celia, how about the ferns? Can you mention some characteristics of them?
Okay. Ferns do not have flowers. Some of them are bigger than the others. They have roots, stems, and leaves.
Uh-huh. What is the name given to the leaves of ferns? How do we call
Fronds.
Fronds. Very good. Good. Kessler, is your audio okay? Kessler? No. Ray, can you tell us the characteristics of conifer trees?
Conifers are trees or shrubs. Most coniferous trees grow in the northern hemisphere. Conifers are called differently as naked seed
or gymnosperms.
Yes, have root system and needle-shaped leaves.
Very good.
Coniferous trees do not produce flowers but grow cones to hold their seeds. And most of the trees produce male pollen bearing cones and females.
Okay, correct. And the last one, Claire, can you tell us the flowering plants?
Yes. Teacher, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Claire. Yes, please.
Okay. So the flowering plants make up the majority of all the plants actually. They have 4 seeds. They are the most advanced and beneficial groups of the plants.
Very good.
They can grow in various habitats like trees, shrubs, etc.
And
so they have flowers, which are the reproductive organs.
What is the different name given to the flowering plants? What did we say?
Angiosperms.
Angiosperms, or it means?
Covered seeds.
Covered seeds or enclosed seeds. Yeah, very good. These were the 4 groups of plants. Okay, now, today we're gonna classify vertebrates. I want from you, firstly, so if you know what is a vertebrate, please type your answer. What do you know about vertebrates? So what do you think when you hear the word vertebrate? Yes, please. Some of your responses, vertebrates are animals that have a spinal cord consisting of bones. Animals having backbones, very good. With spinal cord, with backbones. Okay. Don't say spiral, but say spinal. Because spiral is different meaning. Okay, very good. So you say that the vertebrates are those animals that do have a backbone. In fact, before starting with the classes of vertebrates, we should know that all animals or animal kingdom is divided into two major groups, which are vertebrates and invertebrates.
Invertebrates, yes.
For today, we're going to talk only about vertebrates, and next time we're going to deal with invertebrates. As you said, most of you said that vertebrates are those animals having backbones. Let us see. Now, in order to be called a vertebrate, we said that they should have a backbone, okay, or the having the spinal cord and the senses, okay, inside their body. The five major groups or classes of vertebrates are as below: the fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. We're going to see that each of these classes, they do have specific characteristics which classify them according to the names that are written in here. Let us see the fish, the first class. Now, fish, they do have some adaptations according to the habitat that they live. They absorb the dissolved oxygen with their gills, okay? Do you know what are gills?
Yes.
Veins.
Yes.
So they absorb the dissolved oxygen through their gills, because we know that the oxygen is found in water, but in a
but
way.
it dissolves. Yeah.
Very good. They have wet scales as well. As you see in the picture, these are the wet scales. The scales, we cannot see that they are wet, but we know that the fish, they do have wet scales. And they have fins, which help them to move. They have tail, okay? But the most important part which differ these ones is that the fish change their body temperature according to the environment, okay?
So
or
they are cold-blooded.
We call them, yes, we call them differently cold-blooded or poikilotherms, which means that according to the environment that they live, they're able to change their temperature, and they are reproduced by laying eggs, okay? So fish, in order to grow new fish, they reproduce by laying eggs. And fish are grow from eggs. And you should know that the number of laying eggs by a fish can reach up to millions, okay? But not all those eggs are becoming new mature fish, because there exists lots of different predators feeding on them. Okay, the second, let me show you some beautiful fish pictures. This is the clownfish. I don't know if you've ever seen it before.
Yeah.
I guess these are really amazing to see. This is Nemo. We know it.
Yeah.
Teacher, my uncle has one of them up the Nemo.
Huh.
That one, the red one.
The clownfish. Now, these ones, in fact, I've chosen these ones since they're beautiful, and to show to you that there exist lots of different species of fish, different in color, different in shape, different in size, okay? But they are still grouped in the group or class of fish. Okay, let us continue with the second group, which are amphibians.
Yeah.
Now, amphibians are small vertebrates. They can both live in water habitats and in land habitat, but they need a moist environment to survive, okay? They have some adaptations which help them to live or to breathe both in water and in land. When they are in water, they breathe through their skin, okay? They have a thin skin, which is able to absorb the dissolved oxygen in water. But when they come on land, what do you think?
Lungs, they use lungs.
They use lungs, very good. So when they lay on land, they use their lungs to breathe. And amphibians also are reproduced by external fertilization, and they lay eggs. And you know that from the eggs of the frog, they grow into toadstools. Do you remember toadstools? They are the small frogs.
Yeah.
come in some circle of growing. First of all, they just do have a tail, and then they grow the legs, like this. Now, some species in this group, we can include frogs, toads, salamanders, and newts. You know the meaning of toad?
Toads?
Typhlop, yes. Salamander, in fact, this comes from the Latin language, the name with dots, yellow dots.
Yes.
And the newts are?
Yeah, it's in the family of salamanders.
Yes,
so
yes. I'm gonna show the pictures of them. These ones in here. Here is how do they look like. The frog, the toad. In fact, the toad changes even in shape and in color, and also according to the environment that they live. And the newt and the salamander, which are given in there. Now, the next one, reptiles. The third group of vertebrates are reptiles. Reptiles, in fact, they have dry scales, okay? Remember, we said that fish have
wet scales.
Wet scales, very good. Reptiles have lungs and dry scales. They live, most of them, in fact, because we should know that some of the reptiles as well live in water, but most of them, they do used to live on land. Their body temperature as well changes according to the environment that they live, okay? So that's why they are still called poikilotherms or cold-blooded, okay? They include different species like crocodiles, snakes, lizards, turtles, and tortoises. Do you know the difference between turtles and tortoises?
Sure.
Turtles,
They are a little bit bigger. Turtles.
And turtles live on water, and tortoises
they may be different. So turtles do live in water habitats, and the tortoises live on land. But as well, they still have differences on their shape and body size. Tortoises are a little bit bigger. And one other characteristic of reptiles is that they regularly, they shed their outer layer of skin. I don't know if you have ever seen a snake shedding.
Yes,
because shed means to remove the outer layer of their skin.
Remove the skin.
And as we said, their body temperature changes according to the environment. They are reproduced by internal fertilization, and they do lay eggs. What does it mean? So what's the difference between internal and external? When we say internal, the eggs are fertilized, and from the egg, a new reptile, a new snake, for example, is coming, okay? It just grow in size. But the eggs of an amphibian, they do not seem like the real frogs, okay? For example, the example of an amphibian like frog. They just become like a mature frog from the later stages of life. But on reptiles, they resemble the mature reptiles since they are on their eggs, okay? That's the difference. Let me show to you some pictures of reptiles. As you see, you have the turtle and the tortoise, and you see the difference. We said that tortoises live on land and turtle on water. And you have the crocodile, the lizard, the chameleon, okay, and snake, and other types of amphibians. Most of amphibians, they do grow legs, they have legs, but some of them, like snakes, for example, do not have legs, but they do have some, let us call them special scales on their below part, which they use to move, and they use as well the friction of the place of the surface that they are moving on. For example, on a smooth surface, the snakes cannot move since there is no friction. And the fourth group of vertebrates are the birds. Now, birds, they have some different characteristics from the reptiles, amphibians, and fish. Firstly, they do have lungs, since they grow on land, they have feathers and they have beaks. But the most important part, which they change in characteristic, is that they are called warm-blooded or homeotherms, which means they're able to regulate their body temperature, okay? And what does it mean? Their body temperature does not change according to the surrounding. They have some special adaptations. For example, if they are found in cold, they do not live in those cold areas. That's why they migrate, most of the birds. So they are called warm-blooded. They need a specific body temperature. They are reproduced by internal fertilization and by laying eggs, of course. Now, birds, in fact, they have some adaptations to fly, okay? But they also can run, can jump, can swim, can dive. Do you know that the penguins are birds?
Yeah.
They are birds.
Even though they can fly.
They have the ability to fly, but they still do have the characteristics of birds. Okay, let us see some adaptations of birds. In fact, the wings of the bird, they are shaped to create a lift, which can move as a lift up and down, left and right, okay, which helps it to change the direction easily. The leading edge or the front edge, the front part is thicker than the back part, okay? And they are covered in feathers, which help them, for example, to maintain their body temperature. I've written as well that the airplane wings, they did take the example from the wings of a bird, okay?
Yeah.
They have light bones, okay, which help them fly easily. The bones of the birds, in fact, they are having some extra air sacs inside them, which, so those sacs that do have air inside, that makes the bones lighter, okay? And as well, some interesting characteristic is that they have a unique digestive system. They can eat when they fly, and they can digest it later, okay? Kind of like scheduled digestion, if we could say it like that. Let me tell you some amazing birds that I've chosen. You know the peacock.
Yeah.
I don't know the other names of these, but they're really interesting. They're living on tropical forests, most of them. This is a wild duck, in fact.
Yes.
And we should know that the birds, they have different shapes, they have different colors according to their species. They have these characteristics of colors and other features. For example, the peacocks, this is a female peacock. Usually the female peacocks, they have white color, and the male ones, in order to attract their mate, they have the colorful tail, if we could say, in feathers. Okay, and the last one, but not the least, are the group of mammals. In fact, they are the most adaptable animals on planet, and we are part of this group too. So the humans are mammals. What is the main characteristic of mammals? In fact, the mammals are said to nourish or to feed their youngs with milk. Okay, it is the only group feeding or nourishing their youngs with milk. They have lungs, they have fur, some of them, and they are able to regulate or to maintain their body temperature. So they are homeotherms. And in this group, we don't have any more eggs, laying eggs, like the other groups did. They are reproduced by internal fertilization, and they give birth to live youngs, okay? All mammals. Now, mammals, in fact, they change in size, and they can be grown on every continent, on every habitat, okay? And the smallest, I have taken some pictures, the smallest mammal in size is the bumblebee bat. I'm gonna show how small is it. And the most And the biggest one is the blue whale, okay?
Teacher, even the dolphin is a mammal.
Yes, of course. I was gonna ask it, but thank you very much. So dolphins are mammals too, even though they can resemble the fish or the whales. They mostly resemble to fish, but they are mammals, okay? Since they nourish their youngs with milk and they do give birth to the live youngs. Now, let us see some examples of mammals. If you see in here, for example, you have the dolphin, the elephant, the panda, etc., etc. But I wanted to spot out the bat. We said that the mammals, they have different adaptations. Some of mammals can live on land, some on water habitats, some of them can even fly, like bats, okay?
Yeah.
So that's why we say that they are the most adaptable animals on planet. Let us see the bumblebee bat. This is the bumblebee bat. It's really small, the smallest mammal on world. This one in here, it's still a mammal. Imagine this one is giving birth to the live youngs and how small they should be. And the size of a blue whale, if you see in here, this is the blue whale, and it says if we row 20 elephants standing next to each other, they are the size of a blue whale. They're really big. This is an interesting mammal, that's why I've put it in there, armadillo, and the dolphins that we said, okay? These are the 5 groups of vertebrates. So we have fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Now, I have some names to match with the classes that they belong to. Please, can you match them? So Todd belongs to what? Human to which group?
Amphibians.
I do not tell it, just match it and we are gonna discuss it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Cleon, the toad is a?
Toad is an amphibian.
Is an amphibian, very good.
Oh.
Humans, Sarah?
Are mammals.
Mammals, very good. The ostrich, who's gonna tell us the ostrich? Ashley.
Bird.
A bird, very good. Lizard, Luna?
The lizard is a reptile.
Axeli, dolphin?
Dolphin, fish.
Mammal.
Is a mammal. What did we say? Dolphins, even though they do resemble the fish, they are mammals. And the turtle, Samuele? Mr. Samuel. What is a turtle? To which group does it belong? Is it a mammal? Which one? You mean it is an amphibian? How about you? What do you think? What is a turtle?
I think it's a reptile.
It's a reptile. Very good. We said that turtles are reptiles, if you see in here. Okay.